Alright, welcome back. Took us a little longer to get started. Having some issues with my ISP. Nothing new. If you're new to the channel and just seeing me for the first time, my name is Brent, otherwise known as the Salty EQ Vet or Salty EQ Vet. I'm a longtime MMO player and retired combat veteran, and I like showing off games that are niche to me that I think that deserve a bit more attention. And we're playing Stationeers today. We are doing a series on it, as organized as I can be about it. Yesterday we tried to, or at least I attempted to, make some pipe heating logic and got distracted because other issues pertaining to Mars Survival in this aerospace game came up first. So one of them was fuel mixture. I needed to make fuel in order to expand the base, and that was kind of a priority versus just keeping the hot gas in the pipes, which are cooling down very slowly, as long as I don't have radiators on them. So let's go ahead and get into the game. And I do apologize if my ISP is going to drop the upload speed. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But I think it's stabilized for the most part. Sometimes it just takes a nosedive and then it comes back up. I don't know why that is. It might just be a temporary spike. We do have a festival nearby with thousands of people. So, I mean, that could be part of the network congestion that we're experiencing here. All right. And the music you're hearing is Monsters and Memories. It'll be out in June 1st, I believe. Make sure you guys are getting good view here. A little paranoid about everything. There was one stream where it was just my face and I was just talking. I just didn't realize the game wasn't up, and I did that for like 10 minutes straight, and I was like, ah, no. So, I'm sure that's somewhere. Okay, it looks like everything's good. There we go. You guys can see more of the game. Alrighty. Go ahead and put our suit back on. We're going to try to make some pipe logic today. I don't know if that's going to be possible with the time that we have. There are other priorities that I need to take care of. But we do need to get the carbon from the furnace cooled down enough into the greenhouse, so the plants have something to grow and turn into oxygen. Turn that off there. We're gonna close our helmet. We're gonna turn our suit back on here. Lock our helmet. Safety first. There we go. Alright. Just checking the pressure. 9 Celsius in the coolant. And then we have 50 Celsius slowly going down. Okay. Alright, how should I do this? That's the main question. Do I build a pipe network, or do I build a portable tank and just transfer the gas that way? and I can let it out manually. I could do that, and that could be a stopgap to give me a bit more time to figure out how I want to set up the logic. So let's do that. Let's print off a few things here. What do we got here as far as iron? We probably aren't going to have enough iron, even if we take everything from all of our printers here. Alright, we'll go out and get some more iron. Oh, turn that off. Alright. It may just be more economical to print off a bunch of gas pipes. Might be. That's gonna be a headache though. Because then I have to figure out which way they need to go. And silly things like that. And of course I don't want to overpressurize the greenhouse, so I gotta make sure that there is a pressure regulator on there. And of course we can set up more logic to allow put up another gas sensor to take measurements of the CO2, and if it gets too low, let some CO2 in. Although that comes with its own dangers. Like overpressurizing the base. So there's still plenty of stuff to do. So right now we just need a stopgap. I still think this is one of the best maps of the game. And that's because I can see Earth. It's always kind of nice to see. And what I was thinking when I was not playing this game is we need to expand the base as much as possible, probably out through here, so we can just move these printers out of the way for our gas production facility. Alright, what do we got? Do we got anything in the... Let's make sure. Nope. Alright, but last time what we did do is we did solve our fuel issue, and then we hooked up the furnace. One less thing to worry about, right? I don't have a whole lot of fuel right now, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this back up. We'll monitor it. Where are we at with oxygen? Not that much left, so I would go ahead and go back into the greenhouse, get some more oxygen. We also discovered that we don't need to filter the volatiles. Having hydrogen and methane is still very combustible, which is fine. I think it's going to produce a little bit of water when it does combust. Okay. All right. Go ahead and turn that off. we can bleed off a little bit of pressure here. And we're going to have to keep doing that until we can actually capture all of the gas, unfortunately. If we do that, we have lower pressure, we have higher temperature. So that is how that works. Okay, there we go. Very good. Alrighty. We have enough to make iron. Oh, I think I just had a whole bunch of iron just sitting there. I didn't have to go out and mine. Nope. Okay. Looks like we don't have any fuel left, and we are... Let's see if we can bleed some pressure. Raise the temperature here just a bit. Yep. And there we go. Can we get iron? Dope. Oh, go ahead and shut that off. Dang it. There we go. Okay. Not enough to make steel, but enough to make iron. We just need a lot of iron. I think the next run we will produce steel. Steel's always good to have. Very good. Okay. Well, and that did solve the pressure issue that we were having in the furnace. But now, there's 1 gram, we can just throw that in there. Okay. Let's take a look at portable tanks, see what the economy is. It's about 20 grams of iron. We might just be better off just printing a bunch of pipes and just doing all the silly stuff, if I'm going to be completely honest. Insulated tanks would be cool. Iron, steel. Yeah, we can probably... Let's see, we do have that pipe connector, or a tank connector. That was kind of a hard call. Let's take a look at what's going on in the pipes here. Yeah, we definitely don't want that to overpressurize the base. So I'll need, can I do a pressure regulator here? I can't, unfortunately. Where would it go? That would be my question. So I have to figure out a way to let the gas into the greenhouse without blowing out the windows. And in order to do that, I need a pressure regulator. I just the issue is I'm also trying to think about the logic and how I can automate it, but I just don't have an answer for that right now. So I might want to work on just printing off the pressure regulator and doing the piping, and then and then hooking up that oxygen tank Yeah, so we want to utilize, because that 20 grams is a bit expensive for like a tank, and I could do it, but I also had to print off a pressure regulator anyways. Because there's just too much CO2 in those pipes. It's just going to blow up the tank. Alright, we'll throw that over there. And we'll start printing off the pipes. I don't think I need insulated pipes. And the reason for that is that it takes a very long time for the gas to cool down out in space. So it's just more economical to print off the iron pipes, in my view, than to print off the insulated pipes. Now, if I was on Vulcan, I would probably be prioritizing the insulated pipes. Because you don't really need to worry about fuel on Vulcan. And I really want to do another Vulcan run. I mean, I've never done it on a live stream before. But it is a lot of fun up until a certain point, and I'm just trying to figure out how to cool the base. That seems to be the hard part. I mean, Europa's relatively easy. You just got to keep things warm. And that is kind of fun. So like here, I mean, we can undo that. Well, we'll worry about it. We'll worry about it later. There's like a lot of stuff we got to do. We got to expand the space. We got to get these printers off to the side, so we're not running into them. So I got to deconstruct everything. Oh, here's a fuel. I totally forgot I had that. I guess we would have been fine. We got a pressure regulator. Okay, we got some pipes. Pressure regulator. Well, no, I want to automate the, Draxon, thank you for commenting. Dude, I just really want to automate the CO2 inflow to the actual greenhouse. And that's kind of like what I'm worried about more so than anything else. And if I do that, right now I got 1 kilopascal in the pipes, and if I just pipe it in, it's just going to blow out the windows. So I don't want that to happen. And so I'm trying to figure out like a logic system as I go along, but I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the priority is here right now, because there's like a lot of stuff to do. Even though like the moon is like the easiest map you could possibly play on, it's just there's a lot of stuff to do. Okay. What the hell was I doing? There we go. I don't really like walking on pipes. I really don't. Oh, and someone else said evening. Well, yeah, good evening. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the logic system. I already have one going on with the AC, and I just use the atmosphere in the room with a passive vent. Then I close it off with a pipe valve. And so I had the logic reader, logic writer, memory set into Kelvin. I did that one stream. But I think I'm just thinking about too many things at once. And right now I just kind of need to maybe just try to concentrate on getting the logistics done first. Makes a little bit more sense. I do like these pipe sections. Hopefully, they'll give us the cable sections next. But yeah, that's gotta print off about 20 more. How you guys doing? Yeah, IC trips. The IC. I typically borrow people's codes when I get to that level. I really want to write my own. I just got to put time off screen and do it and just sit down and learn it. It's not terribly hard. Last time I did IC was before they patched out the vacuum cooling bug, and I really like the vacuum cooling bug on Vulcan because you just had like this room, you vacuumed it out, you put like a bunch of uninsulated cans in there, and you could cool down your base that way. And I thought that was really neat, but you know, that I guess that violates the laws of physics or something. So we're not allowed to have that fun. So we just gotta avoid the AC unit. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe I should bring it down. Nah, no, it's fine. Drax says it's all fine to borrow code. It's somewhat difficult to start from empty space. Eventually, you write your own code in your sleep. But yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with that. I just I don't know. I feel like there's some type of satisfaction in having like your own code. I'm glad people do it, so I can just like look at it and be inspired by it if I want to be charitable to myself. Let's see where that's coming through. Is that coming through anywhere important? Doesn't seem like it. Physics. Yeah, so like last time I used the IC was Vulkan, and I had the solar panel array on like a vertical stack, and that was really nice to have. Like, what is it? We have to produce INVAR? I think that's like the only time I've ever produced. No, is it INVAR for the IC? They've changed some ingredients around for certain recipes. There we go. We'll worry about the vent later. I'm just more worried about the logistics. Don't want a back pressure regulator. We just want a regular pressure regulator. There we go. Okay, that works out pretty good. I mean, with ChatGPT, I can just, ask that, right? It's probably garbage, though. Now, I do have a bachelor's degree in computer science, although I was never a coder. I was definitely more of a bench tech than anything else, really on the customer service side of that. I do know a fair bit amount about the actual industry, so if I really wanted to advance in that industry, I would have to get certifications now. I don't feel like doing that. I feel like I want to do something a bit more purposeful in my life, like teach philosophy. Okay, we need to wire this up. Yeah, I'm actually surprised I got people in the chat now. I typically just do this for fun. So it's a bit surprising to see, like, oh, there's people in the room. I gotta talk to people. I mean, I don't have to, but I don't want to be a dick, right? Yeah, that should be fine. We can probably not that much. That'll definitely be bad. We can probably go to 120. I think that's good. Pipes, we'll throw those in there. Vents, passive vents, that's what I need. Is there insulated vents? Okay, so because the vents count as pipes in the game logic. Okay, that makes sense. That's why there's insulated vents. Okay. You know, I think it's just gonna be the running joke of the stream. I'm gonna keep saying I'm gonna do pipe logic and never get to it because there's other things I have to do in the base. Oh boy. No, we don't need that. I don't think we need that. Probably don't need that. Alright, what do we got? We got 120? Alright. So we definitely needed CO2. Is there CO2 in those pipes? Tell me there's just CO2 in those pipes. Probably want to check that before I turn that on. Okay, yes, only CO2 in those pipes. The problem that we're going to have is I thought I was slick, and I was like, okay, you know what? If I pressurize the pipes enough, I can actually just turn the pollutant into liquid and then have that as coolant on standby. And I did do that. The problem is that every time I want to turn, or I can't really reuse a filter for a furnace. It really has to be separated, so I gotta take this out. Because if pollutant gets in there, it's like screwed. Greenhouse is screwed. Okay. Moment of truth. Yep. Alright, we're doing it. Plants can now have CO2. In fact, we can turn off our suit here. We don't need that. So we're just monitoring the situation. If anybody's just joining us, making sure I don't blow out the windows. I think in the real world scenario, I think if you get like to 10% CO2 in a room, like that's just like absolutely poisonous. I think in the game world, you can be at like 60% CO2, and O2 could be at 30%. You can still breathe it. But anything like above 10% CO2 is actually, from what I understand, is deadly. And I only learned that from playing submarine sims. I think sub-sims are like my guilty pleasure. I just wish there was the last good one that I played was like the American Wolves of the Pacific. That was like back in
hydration critical
in 20 Was that? That must have been like 08 or 09. The other issue that's creeping up on us is water. We gotta get water. I mean, it's fairly easy to do, but again, I don't really want to set up a whole new system just to produce water. I can just take it from the furnace. And I'm surprised it doesn't output like polluted water. I think it should, but for whatever reason, it doesn't, and I'm satisfied with that. The devs don't need to make this game any harder than it is. I do really want to do a Vulcan run. And then, I don't know. The thing about Vulcan run is that you run out of food relatively quickly. And they just give you switchgrass. So they really force you to trade. And that's fine. I mean, it's just that I need to get better at trading. We're finding the actual trade ships that actually sell useful things that I need, like food. Let me check the music. Music that you are hearing is from Monsters and Memories. Going to be in early access June 1st. If you don't know what that is a classically inspired MMORPG. Like EverQuest. If you played EverQuest, you'll be right at home with Monsters and Memories. And I'm just playing this until I can get in the beta. I'm really liking the auto mod that Twitch has set up, because now I can just ban people. Or at least deny their advertisements on the stream. Yeah, that should be good enough for now. Alright, what do we need to do next? What is the next priority? That's kind of the thing that I try to like have is like, okay, what is the actual priority of my survival, of making things easier? We don't need solar. Right now what we have is fairly sufficient for what we have. We will need that, I'm sure, in a bit. The other thing I might need, it's like I'm buffering. I'm really trying to think of what I actually need. So that's a big thing right there. Could set up logic for that. We don't really need to do that right now. We do need to put some safety on that, for sure. We also need to set up that tank, portable tank, so we can. Well, I guess we can just print off a insulated portable tank, so we can just store it outside when we're making fuel. I think it's we don't want to go past 10 megapascals, and then this will explode. There's a lot to do. Right now we technically don't really need to worry about the temperature in the pipes. they're not at risk of bursting. It takes a fairly long time. But we will have to eventually worry about it. Maybe we will need dual solar tracking. Or solar logic. Solar logic's super simple to set up here. That's why I do kind of like the moon. I just don't have to like worry about dual tracking. Also the view. Okay, well, go ahead and put this over here. Let's take that. Put that right there. And then we'll expand. Iron frames. Still good. Still useful. There we go. This song kind of reminds me of, what was that? That was a meme about Mickey, about a guy going through Vietnam, and Mickey killed Goofy. Kind of reminds me of that. Just need to expand the base right now and move all the printers into the side area. That's the plan. Let's take a look at chat. Drax. Well, you can write your own tasks list and translate it into code, then look for other people's code. Usually you can point out things that you might miss at the first try. That is very true, sir. I did kind of answer you, but I didn't really read off your question earlier. Let's check the stream here. I just want to make sure, because I've been having issues with my ISP. It takes a nosedive every so often. So if you're watching the VOD and you're seeing me do this, I do apologize. I just want to take a look at what's going on here. Seems like I'm doing a-okay. Seems like I'm doing a-okay. Alrighty. Steel. There we go. So I'll go over this again. If you are new to the game and you are seeing, somehow you found this video, steel, you kind of want to make a beeline to steel. Far more economical than using iron. In most cases. I think pipes is the only thing. Insulated pipes and regular pipes are the only thing that it isn't. Because if your environment doesn't need insulation, then you know you're probably just going to go with regular iron pipes or the regular and insulated pipes. I need to find a way to, well, I know there's a way to store the crates, but sometimes I just, is this really a priority for me, or do I just want to kind of throw them out of the way? The reason why this is a priority, at least to me, that makes sense, is that we need to actually do more work into the gas filtration and capturing area. So I need all these printers moved to the side. Yeah, we can put one right here, that's fine. Okay, well, we will go ahead and stop that. And we will start printing off steel sheets. Yeah, that's fine. I do believe I have more sheets over here. Where are they? There. Good for right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing all this silly stuff that we gotta go ahead and deconstruct. Okay, hand drill. Just replace the battery on that. Angle grinder. This is the only thing that's not really... This is definitely not fun. What do we need? Another angle grinder? Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's right. And then a wrench. I'm just gonna throw that over here. Because we got a lot of stuff to do. Oh, more steel sheets. There we go. Let's take down the electronic printer next. Hand drill, of course. It is kind of a pain to move these, but you know, it's one of those things you kind of have to do when you're reorganizing. Let's see, is that a wrench now? Wrench, yeah, there we go. Don't have any contents in there, very good. Okay. I do have ADHD, so I excuse my piles of organization. It's kind of just a thing I do. Go ahead and get this last guy done. Wait a minute. Hold the phone here. There we go. This is a pain, for sure. Although, what the devs say, it is intentional. Even though it's intentional, you don't really have to like it. I mean, sure. That's fine. That should be. I'll be satisfied with that. Let's go ahead and wire up our new area. And if you're going to be doing this and you're new to this game, and you're going to be doing what I'm doing, number one priority is to make sure the autoclave is built first. You'll thank me later. Ah, that's why. There we go. Alrighty. works. Very nice. Alright, we need to print off more cable coil anyways. Next is going to be the electronic printer. And I kind of like to have a little bit of space to work with between printers. What do you think? It's that should be fine. I mean, I can do that, but I kind of feel boxed in a little bit. Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll go ahead and just pause that for a minute. And we'll start our construction. There we go. Put that back. Now for a screwdriver. There we go. Nice. Okay. All right. Now, if you're wondering why I did that, it's because the electronic printer prints off cables faster. I know some of you out there are quite experienced with this game, but the premise of this whole thing is to introduce people to Stationeers, and if they're new, you kind of need to explain certain things to them.
Hunger critical.
All right, we're gonna have to stop our construction here and go take care of our basic needs.
Power low.
50%.
Power
Oops.
critical.
Now I have 0. And it goes in my hand. Of course. There's like a lot of little things that can make this a bit easier. It's always the pressurization. Did it go down? Let's go ahead and turn that up. I wonder why it went down. Interesting. Okay. Oh, because I took the oxygen. No, that's right. That's probably why it went down. Okay. That makes sense. That totally makes sense to me.
Hunger caution.
I haven't seen the hygiene symbol in a while, so I'm wondering if they patch that out. I don't think they did. I think that's part of a core concept of the game, is to like make sure that your guy can be hygienic. We'll go ahead and pressurize it slightly above 1 bar. Is the gas cold? What's going on with the what's going on with the gas? Okay. Right. Would be a good excuse to check out what's going on in stream. Take a look at the bit rate. Bit rate's doing pretty good. Yep, okay. Alrighty. Looks like we're doing pretty good. I mean, we could technically just leave that on if we really want to. If we really want to, because it's not going to really pose a danger. It's just going to make sure that the room is not gonna, it's gonna reach that certain or pressure, and then that's gonna be about it. I do think the other priority is probably gonna be getting fresh water into here. Because I don't really wanna move the tank. I mean, I can. It's a portable tank, right? I mean, I should be able to. I should utilize it. As long as I don't store it outside, I should be okay. Man, I really need that beta invite to Monsters and Memories, guys. I really want to play that game. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. That's fine. That's enough CO2 in the greenhouse. Turn all that on. Get rid of that. Why not? I'll go ahead and switch out a battery. Okay. Pipe benders. I kind of want to keep a space in between all of them, if I can help it. Right? I mean, I could do this too. Yeah, that should be fine. I wonder. I should just put them all down at once. That's what I should have done. I just didn't have the cable coil to do that. Whoa. Something went missing. Alright, I guess plastic sheets went somewhere. I don't remember where, but they're around here somewhere. I should probably turn that off. We don't really need that. There's nothing in there. We're just wasting. We are just wasting electricity by having those things on. I have 2 electronic printers, but where did my plastic sheets go, guys? Okay, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I just know that they should be in my inventory and they're not. The world may never know where those sheets went. Wired back up. Alright, that's much more space. I like that. Yeah, I mean, we could probably cannibalize a few items here. Why not? I like proper cable management. In fact, I gotta spray paint the power in. Well, I don't really need to do that. I could put just a power controller unit on the side of the wall here. In fact, I should probably do that. Let's see. Probably would be a good idea. I already have one, I believe. And we can just put it like right there. Eye level? I think eye level's good. We'll just go ahead and keep that buttoned up for right now. Alright. What we'll do is we'll have to splice. Take rid of that. That is the input. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. I think I know what I'm doing in this game. I would like to think I know what I'm doing in this game. Is how I should really phrase it. But again, there are way better people at this game than me. I think Cows Are Evil is like one of the guys I started watching first. Very helpful. He has very long form videos on it, and so just kind of just listening to him in the background. You can pick a few things up. Definitely go check out his channel. Not for everybody, but he is for some people. Alright, so now we got no power going into the base. We're gonna go flip that on. Okay. Just put one of these batteries in there. Why not? Okie dokie. Oh, yeah, let me go ahead and stick these walls down then. closet wall. There we go. We need a little bit more, just a little bit more, just for future base expansion. Eventually, this area is going to be enclosed. So I just need a little bit more space, and then we're good. Oh, I have iron frame still. Okay, that's fine. You gotta use what you have, right? Alright. Okay. Sorry, just trying to do some base expansion work here. One day, I promise I will get to the logic. I promise. Really, guys, seriously. It's gonna happen. Just a lot of stuff's gotta happen. Gotta go through first. Fuck. Oh. Right. Out of fuel. But wait. I don't need to do that. There is another way. There we go. Those are steel. Okay. I will have to remember that in the future. Okay. That should be fine for now. Let's drop some of these things here. Network analyzer, we can just drop there. We don't need that for now. We do need walls though, because we have to kind of have to figure out what we're gonna do. And this needs to be in the vacuum for sure. Okay, well, we're gonna try to get at least one area enclosed. What is that? Oh no, did something burst? Oh, something burst. Dang. Oh, I forgot about them. Shit. Alright, so that should learn from my mistakes and then. Oh boy. Okay, well. There you go. There you go, pal. Jesus, that's the second time I've let a pipe explode. I just forgot about there was a radiator on it. Did it blow up anywhere else? Was it just here? Alright, well, there's still... Okay, well, we still got a lot in there. I mean, it's not a huge, huge loss, but... We're going to turn that off for just a second. Yeah, okay. Not that big of a deal. And then we can move the... Oh, dang. Alright, well, I can go ahead and do that. There we go. Hey! So I did save at least some of the carbon. Turned to liquid, got into the pipes, and then went back to gas. Okay. Not bad. Except for the pollutant that's now in the... Oh, shit, did I... Alright. Not a good sign. I swear, I know what I'm doing. Maybe not. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, we can't turn that on until... You know what I'm going to do? There we go. Okay. Safety first. So that is unfortunate, but we can correct it. I promise you that. I promise you that, and then I'm going to disconnect the pipes. I thought I knew what I was doing, and then I started playing the game. This can be a problem. We'll go ahead and do that. Is there not enough heat in there? Oh boy. Okay, well, we gotta get rid of this. Two things we need to do. We need to get rid of the pollutant in the pipes, which is a bit easier to do. We can just overpressurize the pipes, and that should turn that into liquid. Carbon, however, that's gonna be a little harder to deal with. Stationeers, a game where you try to solve problems and only create more problems for yourself, like just leaving that out. Well, I got enough walls now. Remember what I said to turn off equipment when you're not using it? Blessing in disguise. That's what that is. I'll put that as a window. That's fine. Alright, so we got the furnace sealed off. Sort of. A window right there. No, okay, so it's already, yeah, it's all sealed off. Well, we're preparing for it to be sealed off. That's what we're doing. What's going on? Do we not have any? Okay, so yeah, we've dealt with the. Okay, well, shoot, we need to. Yeah, we're gonna need to flood the pipe with pollution, but that's okay, because that's gonna help us out in the long run. We're gonna depressurize the. What do we got for water in there? Let's check the water pipes. How are we on water? Not bad. Not bad at all. Nitrogen? Okay. We're gonna figure this out. I promise you guys. I promise you. We just have a slight issue. Oh, yeah, and then if we don't do something soon about that, we have to... It looks like it's warming up, so we should be fine. We just need to get warm enough for the liquid carbon dioxide to start evaporating. Take a look at what's going on in the furnace. Looks like we cleared out the pollution, and we are slowly draining the CO2. Still got a lot of nitrogen. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but okay, well, that is okay. Alrighty. Did we already burn through about 3 of those? Already? No, come on. Put it over here. Okay. Now the issue is that we have to keep this out of the sunlight. And we also need to figure out where we're going to put the next airlock. Some plastic sheets here. There we go. Oh, I didn't even realize someone was chatting. Drax, I usually try to make the arc welder as soon as I can.
Hydration critical.
Since gas water pollutes air. I mean, yeah. It's possible to install passive vents with a valve, including where you can turn it off. Mars you quickly they're not to leave uninstalled things lying around. Yeah, so that's one of the other things I like about the moon is that I can just leave stuff around. I don't have to worry about dust storms or blizzards or volcanic ash storms. Yeah, if I was on any other planet, this would not be happening. This would not be. It would be definitely organized. Be way more organized. But since we're on the moon, I can afford to be just a little bit lazy. Let's see. Is that gonna work? Is that really gonna work? I mean, it's gonna be tight. Yeah, the arc welder. I've never made one, although it's very helpful. I really do like it. And typically, how I've played this game is that I play it once in a while, get to a certain point, kind of do some logic, and then kind of take a break from it. And then the devs release a new patch that rewrites the game, like the terrain patch. And then I start over again. I mean, I'm fine with that, but... it's not a huge issue. Just go ahead and mark up the... because we're going to do a bunch of silly logic with the furnace. I know the advanced furnace is better, but you can... I just kind of like building out the regular furnace first, and then seeing how far I can get with it. We really... actually... we don't want a window there. The reason why is because I need to keep out the sunlight. So at least this area is going to be vacuumed, so I can play around the ice. We need two sheets. There we go. But at least I have a shelter now. Yeah, so on like other planets, you definitely don't want to leave stuff around like I'm leaving stuff around, but you know, the worst thing you have to worry about out here is solar storms, which are kind of a pain to go through, but not as bad as just having your stuff fly around. Okay, more. Should probably go inside and get a drink.
Waste tank caution.
Oh, okay. Alright, alright. I think my guy's suffered long enough. Just one more thing, I promise. I'll take care of him.
Hunger caution.
Oh boy. Flip that off. Unlock potion. Alrighty. Yes. Let's take a look at our atmosphere in here, guys. Not bad. I still have pollutant in there. The pipe is still hanging there. Oh, the soup. We gotta get rid of the waste.
Waste tank critical.
I mean, that's pretty good. I like that. You can probably build some more lockers. I think a locker can go in here. Maybe back here. We're gonna need to build some chutes, buttons. I'm gonna need to move that valve outward a little bit. Okay, what do I want to do? I mean, it's coming along pretty nicely. I mean, I like looking at my, like, you know, just kind of like hobbling everything together, and you know, you just have this, the base is finally kind of like taking shape. All right, what am I doing here? We're gonna be putting off some more copper cables. I think really the trick is, and I'm gonna probably have to go offline and think about where I really want to place the airlock. And I'm also gonna have to make another. Let's take a look here. Power control unit. Now I've already made solder, which is good. Because the general rule of thumb is that you never want to have like an airlock without a power control unit, and just in case you get locked in there. So really the thing about it is that where do I want it facing? Kind of want it facing outward, maybe. Maybe facing outward. We've got the input and there's output. I always try to have the habit of just like topping off on cable coil because you always need it. Always, 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 always. Alright. Alright, do I want it out here? I think. I think what I'll do for right now. Yeah, I think that's good. That's where the airlock's going to be. Or I can put the airlock right here. Didn't I say I was going to do pipe heating logic? I said I was going to do that. We already had stuff freezing in the pipes. You'll have to forgive my ADHD. Well, you know what we can do? We can do this. Yeah, that should be fine. We got everything. Okay. Except for this. Okie dokie. I didn't say I was the best at playing this game. I promise you that. I may not like it. I can live with it at least. Shout out to my wife who likes to join us in my stream. It's always nice to have a partner that will support you in your hobbies. Okay. In fact, I need to actually text her and see how she's doing. Although she's sitting in stream right now, so I assume that she's okay. Alright guys, why don't we just take a little break. I'm gonna get right back, drink, go to the bathroom, stretch my legs. You should do the same. I doubt that you've been watching me the whole time, but if you've been just watching random streamers online for a while, you should probably get up and take a break. Alright guys, I'll see you soon. All right, and we are back. Sort of. We're sort of back. All right, if you're just joining us, we're going to be wrapping up the stream here in about 40 minutes. And we was trying to do in the last 2 days was to do some like pipe heating logic, and I just keep not doing it, and I keep doing other things. So I do apologize about that. I think it's going to just become a running joke, or I'll say I'll do it and I just never get around to it. But it is going to happen eventually, because we just had an incident with the pipes where it burst because the carbon inside it froze, and I forgot that I left the radiator on the gas pipe there. But right now we're just kind of trying to figure the layout here. I mean, it's gonna be pretty much this just for right now. I just needed a space to where I could store ice. Really, and you need to store ice in the shade, otherwise it sublimates and then you lose the ice, at least on the moon. We'll leave that as is. We do have our container mounts. I could expand the base to, at the very least, out to here. If I really want to. Go ahead and do this here. 1 second. All right. Okay, so let's do this. Since this is kind of geared towards newer players. How much steel do we have? Do I have steel frames at all? Anywhere? I don't see it. Okay. There's a bunch of steel frames now. Here we go. I don't need that right now. So I'm going to expand the base a little bit, and then I'm going to use I'm going to show you what to do with the crates, what you should be doing with the crates. And we'll finally have the base a bit cleaned up here. Because yeah, it's kind of ridiculous having just things just thrown around everywhere. I know where they are. And you have to excuse my ADHD. But yeah, one of the reasons why I do really like playing on the moon, I just don't have to be organized as much. Still a hostile environment, still a bit difficult because you're going to be dealing with gases and you have to do logic. But I do like the feel of it. I like Vulcan too. I like the challenge of it. The only thing I'm not getting is the air conditioning. So really, one of the other reasons why I'm on the moon is just to go back to basics, to get everything built up. I'm gonna eventually get a landing pad going and figuring out what traders trade what, because the wiki is not necessarily accurate where I can find them. If there's any actual logic I can use, which will probably have to be IC logic. What was it with this freaking... This song always comes up, and I'm just like, this is the Merchant song from, or tune from Monsters and Memories. I mean, it's not a bad song, like, or bad background music, it just, God damn it, I heard it so much, I just don't want to have to hear it anymore. There we go. That should be good. Alright, we're gonna have to make more steel. Which I am perfectly fine with. That should be good enough. Yeah, we are gonna make a room over here. Eventually do something with that tunnel under the base. Alright, we're looking for steel sheets. Steel sheets. So excited for this game, Monsters and Memories. I mean, it's just June cannot come soon enough. Although I can wait for a good thing. Now, I've said some negative things about the game in past streams. Not terribly. I mean, the devs know about these, and they've already stated that they're the issue. That they know it's an issue, and they need to rework some things. So everything I've criticized the game for is pretty much what the devs know about. And again, you see these guys come in every day for the last, at least I've been watching for like 4 or 5 years now, probably 4 years. And yeah, they're spending their own money on the game, and they're putting their own finances into the game, and they're working without pay on a passion project, much like this game. So that's the other reason why I'm showing this game, is because it's a passion project, it's a niche game, it's something that I think should be shown to more people, because this does not, the devs don't have a don't really care if this is financially successful. This is their game that they want to play, and that's endearing, and I absolutely love that. They've been fairly open about the progress of the game. They've been fairly consistent with the updates, unless they were working on a big update like the terrain update. Because I know there was a little bit of controversy because of the developers' past projects where some things did get abandoned. But as far as this, man, this has been, what, 2017 has been in early access, and they're talking about 1.0 now. So, you know, if you feel like you need to support the game or that development team, please go ahead and go to the Steam store and buy this. Not going to be for everybody. Much like Monsters and Memories, it is a aerospace game, and you kind of have to want to be in that type of situation where you're, I guess I don't know what the lore reason is in the game where we just kind of start stranded on a map or whatever, planet, moon,
Power low.
and you get enough resources. There's a difference between brutal start and just standard community start. So I'm glad they put that kind of level of difficulty, because certain people are just really, really good at the game, and I'm just, man, like, I wish I had that. I wish I kind of had your ability to do that, even though I have like a lot of hours in this game. And I think part of the reason why is I don't really get too far into this, where I'm just like kind of building, just doing IC stuff. So I kind of get embarrassed about not, because I really want to do my own code. And I mean, it's okay to borrow code. It's okay to copy code. I just want it to be for me, and there's a sense of accomplishment to that. And so I kind of stopped wanting to get to that point, because I never really get to like the rocket building stage or anything else. This is probably like the farthest I've gotten in a while, because I've just been consistent and trying to like set a goal and try to reach it. Now that goal can be as simple as, hey, I need to do heating for my pipe network in the furnace. Excuse me. And other things are going to crop up. Other priorities might have to crop up. Things kind of bother you too much. At least for me, I'm like, okay, I got to expand the base. I got to get these printers out of here. I forget about something. Something explodes. So like for me, it's a fun game. Like I may not be great at it, but yeah, I mean, it is kind of, you do kind of get like, okay, well, shit, I got to worry about it. So it's a different type of pressure that you're under with this, and you had to really kind of like strategize and use a little bit of science. Although I will say this is gamified, so if you're a real, aerospace dude trying to find this game, you're probably going to point out a few flaws. They are going to try to get nuclear power into this game, from what I read. And they are talking, I guess a couple people have called who are nuclear engineers, which I think is awesome. And they're giving the devs tips about it, like free consultations. I think that's fantastic. So I can't wait for that. I don't know if that's going to be part of 1.1 or 1.0. Let's take a look here. Drax, welcome back. Personally, I think they should eventually connect Stationeers with Icarus, making them both competent. Okay, yeah, I mean, I haven't tried Icarus. I haven't tried it. I know it's their game, and I looked at it and I was just like, I don't know. I just didn't feel compelled to buy it. Like, I don't know. Maybe I should give it a chance. And if anything, if I have the money to burn, I will pick up Icarus and just have it in my Steam library, if anything, if that helps them out with this game, which it probably will. I know they've released a few DLCs, which again drew some controversy from, people out there. I get it, but at the same time, like, it's nice to be able to support the game. Drax, lots of difficulty is just knowing how hitboxes act, as they act weird in a lot of situations. Also, drag and drop interface is really weird for me. Yeah, it's not really ergonomic, is it? It's that's one of the things that I don't really enjoy, is kind of like the clunkiness. But like Drax, like this is not going to be my main game that I'm streaming, and like I'm really focused in on a game called Monsters and Memories. Maybe you've heard me mention it, but there's a certain level of like clunkiness to the game that actually makes the game feel better. So, for instance, I played EverQuest back in the 2000s, at least 2000 or 2001. I think it was 2001 that I got it because of my freshman year of high school, and there was a certain level of obtuseness, of clunkiness. You actually had to click and drag stuff out of your inventory and place them on the actual NPC vendor, and then it'll give you a pop-up window, and then you press the give button to give it to the NPC. And so instead of just like turning in an actual quest and then hitting accept, right, you had to read the quest. You actually had to talk and type to the NPC. So I would say like a certain level of clunkiness. Albeit weird, and I agree with you on that. It kind of makes the game feel a bit more immersive to me. I'll leave it at that. Drax says, I have Icarus for some time, however I played it just for something like 1 hour, maybe, then I find some people to play with. Treading. But this would prefer Ark. Well, yeah. So I mean, the other survival games that I like. I haven't tried Icarus. I haven't tried Ark. I have Valheim. Valheim, I really enjoy. I think they got it really right. The problem is that their production speed is just super slow, and then you try to get your friend group back together with it, and it's just not the same as it was during like the pandemic days, But a lot of the survival games I'm just kind of like turned off by. This is one of the few ones where I just really enjoy. I'm trying to think of another like survival game that was actually oddly good, which was Dune, the MMO. That was actually at least for like when you're leveling up and you're not at the level cap, it's a fantastic game. It's only when you reach the end game where it just kind of like it takes a dive. But it was it was definitely an enjoyable experience when you were leveling through it, and I wish they kind of kept that going on through the end game. But yeah, I don't enjoy a whole lot of survival crafting games. I had an army buddy try to get me into it was something called The Woods, or it's like a realistic survival game. You're fighting against these weird human forest, I think it was. Yeah, the forest. I just couldn't get into it, and he was just like super about it, and I felt so bad because he really wanted me to play with that game with him. I just couldn't do it.
Waste time critical.
Alright, so I came in here to actually do stuff. I promise.
Anti-critical.
Promise you that.
Oxygen low. Low pressure.
Try not to die in the
Oxygen
process.
critical.
Okay. Alright. Gotta think what I'm doing here. I suppose I could need to take off my helmet here. Drax, perhaps Forrest's strong side is the storyline, but personally I'm not good at following the storyline. I would really like to take a vintage story where following the storyline is somewhat optional. I mean, I just like sandbox. You know, sandbox experience was always good. I don't know if you ever played Star Wars Galaxies. That was the quintessential sandbox experience and the inspiration for a lot of other games, and it's still talked about a lot by older gamers. Ahead of its time in many ways, and then it just kind of took a dive with some design decisions. It was in this weird period where the MMOs were still trying to vie for like dominance in the space, so it's like at the very end of like the golden era of like the MMORPGs when it was like a cultural phenomenon.
Oxygen low.
And I should turn on my suit so I don't die. So it's at the very end of like the golden age of MMORPGs, and then where everybody's just kind of like in on it, and new experiences are happening. Like I remember it being like really shocking for people to hook up because of EverQuest. Like, you know, it's one of those days, but it's at the very end of this golden era where it's like 2006 or 7, I want to say, is when it started to, when World of Warcraft starts going completely nuts. It starts dominating the space, and so people are just trying to get an edge in however way they can. So they made Star Wars Galaxies from an immersive type of sandbox experience to a more action-oriented experience, which just didn't work for the game. Oh, Vintage Stories is I've never played it. Is that like the survival Minecraft one? Alright, what am I doing? Okay. I am trying to figure out what I was... Okay, so yes. We were going to... We'll finally get to it. Let me check the time here, guys. Okay. Yeah, I gotta start shutting down and packing things up. Place these... What are these called? Container mounts. Okay. Alright. That'll have to do for now. So this is what you should be actually doing anytime you make Planetfall. Anywhere other than, was it Mimus and the moon. Any place that has an atmosphere. Alright, well. That was supposed to be the other way. How? How did I do that? Alright, whatever. Just not paying attention, that's why. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. See, I go on a tangent and then like I just like forget what I'm doing. There we go. Just do. Alright. I swear I know how to play this game. Okay, that's what you should actually do. So things aren't kind of like everywhere. You know, I gotta set a good example for people. Oh, I have a backpack. I don't know why I'm not using it. Anything left over? Yeah. Yeah, we got some iron over there too. I'll sort these boxes later. I just want to get the place cleaned up first. Should probably leave those in there, but no. Alright. What do we got here? I used one. What's my... Yep. Let's see. Is there a tip of iron over here? I did. Good. Gotta print off some filters here. Alright. Yeah. Go ahead. Just take a look at it. Alright. Yeah, so are you talking about the actual cardboard boxes that they have that they put into the game now, or are you talking about the actual crates? So the problem I have with like the lockers is that they just kind of don't look good and they kind of clip through like the geometry, and I just it's one of those things I don't like. All right, well, I gotta get a recycler. That's what I need to do because this is starting to pile up. All right, I'm just. All right, well, next time we will figure this out, this whole place out. But I got to start winding down, getting ready. I gotta go pick up my wife. So if you watch the stream, I appreciate it. Certainly do appreciate that. You certainly don't have to. but because I just do this as a hobby. Oh, we should probably get inside before I fry out here in the nuclear blast area. I do like the look of the solar storms. I will say that. All right, we'll just go ahead since we need to. This is how we'll wind down. There we go. All right. Go ahead. Where is? There it is. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me. Again, I try to be consistent with this. I try to at least try to get out one every day. But sometimes, hey, you got a busy schedule. Plus, I tutor kids on the side in mathematics. So things can get a bit busy for me, but then I just try. It's a really good outlet, and it helps me with my public speaking. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for lending me your comments and having stuff to talk about. Other than that, this has been Stationeers, and I will see you out there.